So this is hard to talk about. So we've been hiding something from all of you and from the world, really, or trying our best to hide it, because I have been hiding this since the tender age of about 12 or 13 years old.
Same.
And this is hard to talk about for us because this is decades that we have been
dealing with this.
It's like a shameful thing for us, and it has like really shaped my life. But over the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, something like that, we have discovered something, and we actually think it's going to be helpful to talk about it because I think that a lot of you are going to relate to this struggle. So Sarah sent me a TikTok. I can't even remember the actual TikTok of it, but it was of a woman saying that she has been hiding her legs for all of her life. And immediately I was like taken aback because that sounds exactly like me.
Made me stop scrolling.
And she said that she always felt like, in her words, I think she said that her legs looked deformed.
I wish we could find this video.
I know.
Try to find it,
and I am grateful for my legs, that they work and everything, but I've always thought, like, vanity wise or like aesthetically speaking, that I have felt that way since I was a teenager, and it seemed like it came out of nowhere. And we were not even really like super obese or anything when we were young, and I still felt like my legs just did not look like other people's legs for some reason.
Legs, yeah.
Even men's legs.
It's hard to
I
describe.
would look at boys in our class in shorts and I go, their legs look nicer than mine.
Yeah.
Why is that? So, you know, one of the first experiences that I remember with a doctor, I was getting a physical around that age, and the doctor pointed them out, my legs, and said, you need to exercise, you need to lose weight, you know, look at your legs and stuff. I don't think I was ever the same after this doctor's appointment. I just felt so much shame. I don't think I ever wore shorts again. In high school, they forced us to wear shorts, so I had to, but I wouldn't have.
Right.
I don't wear shorts now. I don't wear shorter dresses now. I had a wedding in Mexico, and I didn't even wear a bathing suit or anything. I wore pants. Okay, there were people who would be like calling me Diane Keaton, thinking that I was gonna walk down the aisle in a pantsuit. That's how I've gone out of my way, even from like my own husband, to hide my legs for how many years now? 29 years? This is huge. The woman was talking about something called lipedema. Not lymphedema, lipedema. And it's a hormonal fat disorder. This is new, as in people are discovering that they have this, and it was a light bulb moment for me. I cried talking about it with my husband, who was very confused. He was just like, okay. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, even when I got down to my lowest weight, which is like 162 pounds or something, at 5'11", that is like, I felt that the bones in my collar here and everything were sticking out. I was an extra small size 0 on the top. On the bottom, I was a size 10. I remember thinking to myself, I'm still not happy with how I look on my legs. Like, my legs just don't look right. And I probably would have been a lot kinder to myself, knowing that this is not your fault that this has happened.
That's the beautiful thing about TikTok, is that sometimes it serves you things that you didn't even know that you were looking for, but you resonate with. And that video was one of those things that really made me aware of something that I had also felt that way for a very long time.
So someone gave a pretty good explanation of what it is. Lipedema is a metabolic condition. It's a hormonal fat storage disorder that results in fat accumulation in your extremities. The fat deposits are resistant to caloric deficit, and creating a more attractive appearance is very difficult without surgical intervention, which is, we'll get into that in a little bit. But here's a screenshot of a doctor talking, and most doctors don't know about this. So if you go to your doctor and you say that they have this, they're gonna look at you and go, I don't know they're gonna say, oh, you have a lipedema?
There's more and more people becoming aware of it.
This is how normal fat looks, and lipedema fat looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't believe that all of my fat is that type of fat. I believe that when I was, going into puberty, I have these deposits on my legs.
Around like
around your
knees,
knees, your thighs, your butt, your hips, but mainly it is my legs, right? And I think that regular fat just went on top of that. Apparently periods of stress like menopause and stuff can cause it to happen. So and puberty and menopause, really stressful moments in your life, that kind of thing.
So we have not been diagnosed with this yet. Okay, and we are not medical professionals. This is just an inkling or a feeling, or
I have never been so sure of something in my life
that we have come across that we want to share with you, because apparently many women suffer from this too.
I've been hearing stats of around 11 to 14% of women suffer from this. If it's that much, it's more. It's more people that are suffering from this. It's mostly women.
Out of 14 people suffer from it.
It's mostly women, but men have it too.
And we're pretty sure that we got it from our dad. Yeah.
Our father's legs, they looked very columnar.
That's the name for it. Yeah.
Even when he was sick, he would be out in shorts, because he doesn't care. He'd be out in shorts on the deck. I'd be looking at his legs. They're big. And I'd be looking at his, he didn't have like cellulite or anything. His legs were like just big, but his top was small. And my mother, who's Asian, she's always been, like, her legs have always looked shapely. And I would look at her legs and I'd be like, huh, I didn't get those from you.
Yeah.
This is a huge realization for us. Like, we're still trying to process this, and we want to explore this because I think that a lot of you guys are suffering from this too. If you are, let us know in the comments below. Start looking up this. Start doing your research, looking it up. I think that more and more people are going to be talking about this. I think this is just the beginning. And, but the problem is that I'm so self-conscious of this that I don't even know if I would be able to show it. I remember when I was like at my lowest, I was going to do some before and after pictures in like...
We did do them.
We did do them. I have them on my phone. We were going to do like me in like a sports bra and a pair of shorts. Those pictures were never published.
They were, I mean, partly
were published. Cutting off here, okay? Probably. Because I was still so upset about the way I looked.
My legs
looked.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of you guys think that maybe we'll be showing that today, but honestly, we're not comfortable showing it.
But I can show you what it generally looks like in a diagram. But like, no, I have been hiding this forever. I'm not ready to.
I hope one day I'll feel comfortable enough to show it.
There are people online that are showing their legs, okay?
Right.
And so more power to them. That's amazing. I
hope that I can show some progress someday.
Okay, so we should probably get into the different stages, okay? Because there's different stages of lipedema, not lymphedema. And it's like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, okay? The higher up you go in stages, the more debilitating this is, okay? So in stages 3 and 4, they'll have a lot of pain, extreme bruising, shooting pain, all kinds of stuff. Sarah and I, it's mostly aesthetic that I just don't like the way it looks. I do also suffer from heaviness in the legs, I will say that. When I go on a plane, actually it hasn't happened since I lost weight.
Inflammatory,
Before, I would go on a plane and my legs would swell and I would be walking around and my feet were bleeding because my shoes don't fit anymore. I think that has to do with like lymph flow and lipedema and all that, okay? Now I haven't suffered from that, which is great. But that's the other thing, is that keto does relate to this, because I believe that the reason why I think that I'm stage 1 or maybe stage 2 is because Sarah and I have been off and on keto for 20 years. Yeah. Maybe that halted some of the progression of these later stages for us. So mainly for us, we get bruising. Like if you even touch me, if I hit my leg on a table, there will be a big bruise. Heaviness and what is it?
Swelling.
Some swelling. Like you'll always see that I have a ring where my sock is on my ankle. Never being able to put on a boot. Never being able to find a boot to wear. I went to Target when I got down to 160 pounds. I said, this is it. I am normal weight, right? And so I went to go try on a knee-high boot. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even a sliver. Up to my ankle when my calf starts, not even being able to. This is just so emotionally charged for us because we've been suffering with it for so long. But it could be worse. I mean, it's not overly painful. And so I'm grateful for that.
No, we just want to talk about it because
it is aesthetic.
It is aesthetic for us. And now that more and more people are talking about it,
there is more research on it.
There's more research. There's more people trying to
improve their
alleviate symptoms. Supposedly the only thing that you can do is have like surgery in order to remove it.
Nothing will remove those specific layers. Nothing will remove it other than surgery up until now. So maybe you'll have like lipedema fat, whatever, and then regular fat on top of that. You could lose the regular fat, and I have. I went from size 18-20 to a size 8-10. I mean, that's half the size, but still, you can tell that underneath there it looks bumpy, and it's not cellulite. You can just tell that it's not going to go away. So there are things that can help with the symptoms of feeling heavy, your legs feeling heavy, improving flow.
So one of the things that has been really going viral now is the vibration plate.
We'll leave the one that we bought in the description below. It's fun to use it.
I mean, I feel like it feels good.
My husband uses it every day. He comes to my
legs
room.
definitely feel lighter when I get off of it. I don't know if that's what that
Brad
is.
loves it.
Yeah.
He stands there and talks to me every day.
10 minutes at a time.
Right.
You stand on it. You can sit on it. Some people just put their legs on it. We've been just standing on it 10 minutes a day, and I really like the way my legs feel afterward.
Keeping your legs up on the wall.
Elevated.
So you'll put your legs on the wall, and then you'll be like laying down flat. And so maybe that helps like improve flow, drainage, right? Because you're holding a lot of fluid too. So it does have to do with your lymphatic system, but it also has to do with a fat disorder. It's both of those things. Compression. Sarah purchased a compression boot thing that you wear kind of like pants, and it squeezes your legs, and it fills with air. It massages your legs. Yeah. Some people use that for like recovery.
Yeah.
After working out.
It feels good. Well, some of the settings feel good. Other ones, like the actual like circulation one, is painful. It's painful. Yeah. But the other ones I really like and enjoy. Red light therapy supposedly helps as well. I'm excited to use that. I just bought myself a bulb to use. Cool. So there was a study that recently came out about this supplement. It's called Pignogenol.
Pignogenol.
Okay.
Not pignogenol.
And I'm just going to go over, what it says it is. That in December 2025, there was 100 women with lymphedema, 60 days, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. The result was 29% reduction in lymphedema symptoms, 8% reduction in body fat, relief in swelling, heaviness, tenderness, bruising, and with no side effects. So there are people that are taking this.
So what is it? It's a dietary supplement that is made from a natural extract from the bark of the maritime pine tree that grows along the coast of southwestern France. It contains a unique combination of bioflavonoids and phenolic acid, which offer extensive range of support for the body. It might help with joint, skin, and circulatory health.
Circulatory health, yeah.
So we're gonna try it and see what it does. We're not saying that you should try it. We're not medical professionals.
We're just learning about this and trying to understand it.
My mind was blown when she sent me this. I felt like it explains so much about my life. This is just like an emotional thing for us. And I don't want to say like, oh, I'm not grateful. I have legs.
No, I'm very grateful. That's
but aesthetically speaking, this thing has held me back from a lot. I will say it. I just from enjoying the summers, the beach, and people could be like, you know what, just be yourself. Just let it all out. That's great. I can't. It's such a mind block for me that it's not even like on the agenda. So
our goal in the next year is to continue losing weight, continue implementing some of these strategies, being hopeful that we can
improve it somewhat.
And if we when we get down to our goal weights, whatever those are, and we still feel like there's not enough progress, that maybe we will go and get a consult regarding this and see what the next steps are, and if we are not scared enough to try to do that. Because honestly, we're very scared of surgery. The recovery is long, supposedly. So these are all things that we're going to talk about. We have been talking about this for a long time, and I know that I mentioned it it was like a couple months ago.
We personally have been talking about it.
Yeah, personally, off camera. Been talking about it, and remember the first time I mentioned maybe doing a video about it, Emily's face was like, no, I don't want to. But I think that seeing other people sharing about this and talking about it is gonna, bring up more discourse, more literature, more research, more things that we can do to help remedy the situation if we're willing to talk about it. So we're not willing to show it at this moment in time. You can go online, and there's plenty of people
that show a diagram. Right. It's exactly that. I'll circle.
No, I hope one day I can come back to this video and reference it and be like, here's the update, and here was what I look like now. so that I can share that with you guys.
Do you think you would really want to show the before if you felt confident in the after? Would you be comfortable?
I think so, if it helps other people. Just like
I guess we did that.
Just like our before and after, you know, in the beginning, when we first started posting online, Emily was very much against showing our befores, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, it becomes something that you're like proud of. Like, look at where we've come, you know? And so I hope that we will feel the same way.
If you guys can relate, let us know. And if you can't relate,
you're lucky.
Yeah. But it could be worse.
Right.
I'm very superstitious, so I enjoy my body.
We hope that sharing this will help others that may be suffering from this feel seen and heard, and that you're not alone. And, you know,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned for hopefully some updates.
Maybe we'll put it in the newsletter, some links and everything like that. If you guys want to sign up for our free newsletter, we'll be leaving it like below. We could just put like everything that we talked about and maybe some links to like the research around it so that you guys can read more. Anyways,
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily.
And we're the Keto Twins
signing out.